Hi, Carl. Thanks for meeting with me again today. I realize that you want to expand your business and add a cafe, and having the database up to date is really important with that. So I want to show you how I've created an instance in Google Cloud and how you can pull it down to MySQL. So let me share my screen really quick. And so what I've done is I've gone into Google Cloud, and here's my instance. And let me show you how I created that. I decided to go with MySQL. So for the instance ID, I used my name. Usually we'd use a password, but this is just a demonstration. So it's important to note I didn't pick a password. That comes into play a little later. In development, you can go down, you can see all your configuration options. And then because I know that we're on a budget, right here, we can show the configuration options under machine type, and we'll want to pick, instead of high memory, shared core. And then I went ahead and picked 1 vCPU and 1.7 gigs. And at this point, we would create the instance, but I've already created it right here with the name Soraya. Next, we're going to do some firewall rules. Let's go down to more products, because this will be under VPC. All the way down here. So we'll go to firewall, create a firewall rule, and you can give it a name. Use the default network. And then this is important. The port that we're using is 3306, which is the default for MySQL. And then I did go ahead and enter the IPv4 range, which is 0.0.0.0/0. And then I created that firewall. So we don't need to create it again. So we'll go back out to the instance. And if you double click on it and go to connections, you'll want to make sure it's on a public IP. And then we added the connection right here, as you can see, 0.0.0.0/0. The next thing I did was download MySQL. So that's right down here on the bottom, and we'll pull that up in just a minute. Actually, want to close all the windows so I can show you I've got it done right. So to get this from the cloud to MySQL, I opened up the PowerShell in the instance. And the command that I used to type it was gcloud SQL connect Soraya, which is the name of the instance, and then 2 dashes user equals root. I'm not going to run that again, but I ran that, and that sets up a connection. And then I imported some data right here. So you can see I did some bowling league data. So now if we go over to MySQL, one thing I did want to note was that because we didn't set up a password, when it prompts you for a password after that command, just hit enter, because we didn't use a password. So when we go to MySQL, we'll go to database and then connect to a database. And here's our standard TCP. It's already got the port pulled up. One thing to note is that this is not going to be the 0.0 one that it was. It's actually going to be the one that it gives us in here. So 34.136, that one. So if we copy and paste that into here and hit OK, it's going to open it. And here's our bowling league example. I didn't import all the data. Let's run a simple query and see if this works. I'll execute that. I didn't import all the information, but it does look like we have a secure connection and that everything's working properly.